Welcome to our guide on the Longview Single Sign-On Service. In this video, we'll explore what SSO is, the different workflows Longview Single Sign-On supports, and how to set up and configure the Longview SSO service effectively. Single sign-on allows users to log in with a single set of credentials across multiple applications. This enhances security and user convenience by reducing the number of passwords users need to manage. There are three different workflows Longview SSO supports: SAML, OpenID, and OAuth. Ensure you have access to the installation guide available with the Longview SSO service. This document contains all the necessary steps for installation. First, download and install Node.js from the website as per the installation guide. You can install a single Longview web service to use with multiple Longview servers. However, it is also possible to install multiple Longview SSO services if necessary. If using the SSO service for multiple data servers, add the additional web bridges to the relay URL in the config file. Configure the Longview SSO service starting with the general parameters, which are the relay URLs, port, and refresh schedule. The relay URL is the URL to your Longview server's web bridge that is going to use single sign-on authentication. The port is the port the Longview SSO service will use to communicate on. The default port is 4000. The refresh schedule is optional. It schedules a job at a specified time to refresh the service's configuration, ensuring that changes take effect without having to restart the Longview SSO service manually. The value of this parameter must be set using cron-style scheduling. To configure SAML in the Longview SSO service, begin by setting up a SAML application in your identity provider, such as Okta. Next, set the parameters in the Longview SSO configuration file to correspond with the SAML application. Start by setting either the metadata file or the metadata URL. It is recommended to use the metadata URL to ensure automatic updates. If using the metadata file, a file must be generated from the SAML application and placed in the Longview SSO folder. The ID key is the IDP SAML attribute that will be used to map to the Longview username in the Longview database. If not set, the ID key will default to email, which is the recommended attribute. Also set the issuer and the callback URL parameters, ensuring the SAML application has the same values as set in the Longview SSO configuration file. For OpenID, configure the necessary settings, such as the issuer and client ID, to align with the settings in your OpenID application registered in the IDP. For OAuth, configure the necessary settings, such as the issuer, to align with the settings in your OAuth application registered in the IDP. The audience and scope may also be required depending on your OAuth application setting on the IDP. Final setup and testing. The Longview service is now ready to be installed. Open the install.js file and replace the SSO root with the path to the directory of the Longview SSO services files to ensure you use double backslashes. Save the file. Now run the necessary commands with admin privileges. Finally, create a reverse proxy on the IIS to allow public access to the Longview SSO service. After setting up the Longview web service, you need to configure the Longview data servers that will be using the Longview SSO service. Open the lvsrv.cfg file and set the SSO service to the URL of the Longview SSO web service. The URL will either be set up for SAML or OpenID. Once set, restart the Longview data servers. Once everything is set up, test the single sign-on process to ensure it redirects to the IDP and authenticates the user. For the OAuth flow, use Postman to retrieve access tokens and validate them with Longview to confirm the setup is working correctly. Setting up OAuth is crucial for automating processes with SSO. This method facilitates secure, passwordless interactions through REST APIs, relying on a client ID and secret to retrieve valid security tokens. And there you have it. This concludes the setup and configuration of Longview SSO, including SAML, OpenID, and OAuth. For further assistance, refer to the installation guide or reach out to us if you have any questions. Please share your thoughts and suggestions with us through this email. Additionally, for more information, access the Insight software product documentation using the link provided in the description.